Welcome to another J20 special. Myself, Craig.
Mr. Tom Lyons, we're back again, J20. We've just been down to Box Park in Wembley. Lovely hospitality down there. We're just outside the infamous home of English football, Wembley Stadium.
Yes.
So we're good to be back.
Live update, guys. Live update. We are here because Tyson Fury and AJ has decided they are going to fight. Well, this is just my opinion, by the way. They're going to fight here in Wembley, in the stadium. So that's why we're here today, shooting a special, trying to get your opinions to the public to find out if our sources, if we were right in our sources, we were correct in our sources, and what do we predict for this fight going ahead.
I'm just going to move slightly. Right, so there's been a proposal made that Wembley could well possibly be the front runner for this fight. Been talks about Dubai, England, America obviously being the hotspot for primetime boxing at the moment. But obviously as fans we want you to leave your comments in the comment section about where you think the fight should take place and also the likelihood of it taking place at Wembley Stadium. I know that different promoters have put in requests to get a full capacity 90,000 at the stadium, obviously aligning that with the government's guidelines for the fight. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we can get it over the line. So yeah, just I think sort of from last week, obviously what happened in that massive grudge kind of frenzy between the two women in Shannon Courtney and Ebony Bridges.
Yes.
Good fight it turned out to be.
It was actually a quality fight. Listen guys.
Right in front of us, the SSE Arena.
Listen, I take
full homage.
My words back. She was not just a pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view.
She's actually a boxer, guys. Forget the modelling. She can fight. Yeah. So I pay full respect to Ebony Bridges.
Ebony Bridges from Australia.
It was a quality fight, guys. However, my predictions was right as usual, and Courtney Shannon won the fight. Shannon Courtney.
But you like to do things so you put the surname before the first name. I don't know why you did that.
I have a tendency.
You wouldn't say to me Lyons Tom, but
I have the tendency to do that. Right, so yeah.
But a quick roundup anyway. Conor Benn got the stoppage, first round.
Oh, yes.
But we did want to talk about this beautiful stadium in front of us, behind us, whatever you want to, from whatever angle you're coming from. The NFL. I mean, how important is it to see mainstream sport being coverage on Sky Sports across a load of different networks and having this to be the stomping ground for elite level sport? I mean, I can't wait to see the NFL coming back. Rugby obviously has been, this particular venue has been used for the rugby. Obviously our domestic football and international football phases continuing. England.
I'm not sure.
San Marino.
Yeah, England San Marino was here as well. Saw that game, I was there live. But I'm not sure how many people have actually been. I wish I was in the dugout. Maybe next year, and maybe in the future. Not sure how many of the viewers have actually come to an NFL game live, but trust me, guys, it's an experience you cannot miss. And soon the NFL will be back here, and we will be here to see the first game back at Wembley.
Yep.
To give you a live coverage as well of what goes on, what teams are going to be playing, and what to look out for in the NFL this season.
So moving forward, we've just been down to Box Park speaking to the events team down there about possibly facilitating a day where we can come down and talk to people about how important it is to be out again, outdoors, interacting. I mean, it's our first sort of outdoor event, even though we've been driving each other mad doing the podcast the last couple of weeks. But it's good to be back and also being able to go out and see different things and interact with different people, having conversations with different people, but also kind of maintaining that focus on the sport element.
Yeah.
Obviously, Box Park probably have a lot of different, things to focus on with the football, with the boxing, with the NFL. So we just want to kind of help promote that image and that vision that we can come down here, give people's opinions of the the current sort of state of things, as to say, and it's good to really kind of just socialise again.
Yeah, get the opinions. You know what? It's been great being out today. It was fun being out today. It just shows me how fundamental it is to be out, and how much the community rely on socializing and being out and just literally getting some fresh air again in your lungs, but in a social space, sharing a pint with a friend. You know, these little things that we go by every day forgetting about, they're so important and are such a tradition to us growing up as young Brits growing up. It's really, really part of our DNA nowadays. Getting to the pub or getting to the local bar, having a pint with a mate, having a pint with a friend, and then just socialising, talking about sporting topics or everyday topics.
So we both kind of focused on a lot to do with the youth, and also empowering the young people to get them involved in football, boxing for me, just getting them out and about. I think sort of weekends where their time is probably a little less effective in terms of their purpose of going out and about and doing things, we can kind of get them into our academy, our different focus on sports. I mean, do you want to talk a little bit about this week, obviously with Foots UK that's launched, your team, and also the players that you've kind of gathered around?
Yeah, so today, just want to give a big shout to everyone that's been involved in what I've been doing in Foots UK. Foots UK this week has launched a collaborative company called One Side Academy. One Side Academy is the football team. Focus on One Side academies to produce elite footballers. So One Side Academy had their first game this week, where we played against upcoming, well-known, big reputation organisation called Optimum Sports Academy, which they've been around the circuit for a couple of years now, and they've produced quite a few footballers to certain academies, and they keep doing well within their respective groups and social platforms. So now we've actually challenged those guys, and now we're taking up this One Side Academy to the next level, and we've used Foots UK as that platform to push and be that recognition or that driving force to now put youngsters onto another level and onto another platform, to why I've introduced this One Side Academy. Now, One Side Academy, we are recruiting, we are looking for under 14s, under 15, under 16 footballers. So if you're at an elite level but you're not in an academy yet, or you've not joined an academy yet, please reach out to us. You can DM us in the Two Opinions, and then we'll pass you on to the Foots UK, or you could directly message me on Foots UK Insta, and then we'll then talk and point you into the right direction.
Do you think it's important that even if, say, I was to gather a clientele of like under 16s, under 17s, that if they weren't specifically indulged by that sport, would it be important then to communicate onto you to say, look, I've got a few kids here in my boxing academy, they want to do football instead, and just kind of pass over the skills?
Vice versa, yeah. Definitely, because I've got.
That's what we, at the end of the day, that's what we're aiming to do. We're aiming to broaden our horizons. Yeah.
And it's very much sharing links and interlinking, organisations interlinking, to why we've got this Two Opinions podcast. We've got a boxing sort of entrepreneur in the making on one side, and a footballing entrepreneur in the making on the other side, combining together, interlinking, always constantly changing ideas, listening to each other's training methods, and focus on how we use technology to do so as well, because technology is always changing.
Yeah.
So it's quite important that we give those children as well, who are in our environment, the opportunity of transferring that skill to another sport if they feel like another route might be possible for them to be successful.
And most importantly, the Two Opinions podcast, because I don't feel like we've kind of elaborated on what it is that we actually involve. I think we're not just two opinions as in me and Craig, it's also that idea of for or against, or multi-opinionated, multifaceted platform where anyone can kind of come and speak about sport, speak about their kind of challenges in sport. And I think even today kind of showed where, you know, Craig got to like parents and just kind of talk about his vision for building the academy. It's important, like it's kind of showing that continuous passion and desire to broaden his network, where he can kind of get kids involved, get them engaged in sport, and be like an outlet for kids, because I think like kids at the moment, they lack a bit of purpose and drive. There's only so much time that you can spend at home rehearsing all the skills that you've been taught within the academic system. I feel like with sport you get given that sort of and we got this young fella, no, it's okay. This is what I mean, when we're talking about young people, we want young people to get involved. How you doing, young man? Yeah. But yeah, no, it's important. And also just the last couple of topics, obviously we had the phenomenal win for Rachel Blackmore on the weekend in the Grand National. If anyone had Manila's End, wasn't it? Manila's End.
Manila's End.
Yeah, great win for
So
Rachel
that's a great
Blackmore.
win. Was it first female?
First female to win the Grand National, first Irish female. Obviously we know all about Irish success with females, and I think Rachel Blackmore kind of again broke another stigma from the weekend, and
Great win.
yeah,
Great win.
and
Unexpected, under the radar. For those in the sport would know a little bit more than myself, but it wasn't a predicted one.
it was a good win. She was about
so
3 or 4 lengths
Yeah.
behind the leader going into the last 2 hurdles, and she won the race by a good 8-9 lengths.
Yeah.
So you can't blame her. Great win.
Great talent again. Look forward to the future of that individual, that athlete, because I'm sure there's a lot of good things to come in the years from that jockey. So keep tuning to that one, because that's what Two Opinions is also about, like breaking news, producing those individuals that are performing well and keep producing, and then also tracking that record to see if, is it 2, 3, 4, how many victories she's going to get under her belt. So that'll be interesting to see in the future. Yes, and then taking over. For me, I wanted to touch on this, guys, because I'm a United fan, but one thing with me is I'm not biased in my Man United ways. And so one thing I wanted to bring up was that, well, I think I'm not, well, I say I'm not, but maybe you could prove that I am.
When do you ever not put a bias and Man United together?
You know what I mean? Jesse Lingard. Right, now the stats are out, right? That he's had 8 goals in 9 appearances, and I think it's 4 assists or 3 assists, something like that, right? When you look at the United team, who are struggling to score goals in their previous games, forget the last 2 games against Granada, irrelevant team. Nonsense even mentioning Granada, but they were there, they've done their job to get in the quarterfinals, but there was no expectation of Man United getting turned over. It was basically a close your eyes win. Boys turn up and do it. So looking at Jesse Lingard, is he expected to walk back into that dressing room at Old Trafford at the end of the season and like say, boy, give my number 10 shirt back if you're Bruno? Or is it Jesse Lingard on the right wing forward and we forget the Sancho? Or are we now looking at, actually, Jesse, you did so well, we're going to sell you for 30 million. What do you think Ole and the United, especially now United's got this refined transfer market policy, what do you think their approach is going to be in this scenario?
But does it come down to Ollie, or does it come down to the Glazer family, how they kind of...
Now, because now they've recruited a director of football, it's either going to be Ole or it's going to be a director of football decision. I don't think it's going to come down to the Glazers.
Yeah,
so
but I mean in terms of their ownership on transfers, in terms of like Jesse Lingard obviously will have his agent, he'll have his way of dealing with things, but when you're talking about does that individual deserve a place back in the United team come the end of the season?
Due to his performance.
It depends on what ambition and drive he's got for the next season, because it's all well and good saying that he's had good 20-30 games a season, but if he's performing well, of course he's going to want to challenge himself, maybe abroad, maybe go to, you know, a Atletico Madrid or someone that's doing...
You reckon abroad might be on the horizon for him? Can you see him getting into Atletico?
All footballers are designed to have their stint in domestic football, but then go on to play for an international club, foreign club, because they'll learn more about themselves, their trade, their experience living abroad, the sacrifice that it takes to dedicate yourself as an elite athlete abroad. I think there's a lot of things for a young footballer to take on board. If we were asking the
But
question,
he's not young anymore. Remember,
no,
this
but
is 27.
yeah, 27. But if we're asking the same question, I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah.
If we're using the example of, say, I don't know, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, for example.
26 and then 27.
So okay, right. So give me a footballer, Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah.
Right, Hudson-Odoi. Ask him, is he going to be able to go and play for an international side within the next year or two? No, because he ain't learned his trade yet in domestic football. Because he hasn't probably been given the opportunities where, with his talent, you can only get him a certain level. But when you've got experienced players around you, it takes time to manifest that experience.
So you are
To answer your
predicting-
question, I think Jesse Lingard, yes, he should be playing again in that number 10 role. Do I think
ahead of Bruno?
No, not ahead of Bruno.
So he's not going to be in that.
chance.
He's not going to be in that.
No,
number
but
10.
Bruno could move to say maybe a more
8.
yeah, or like a wider position maybe.
Oh no.
But why?
No,
but why
no,
not?
no.
Try new things.
No.
Alright, you
Bruno.
know more about formation than I do.
Bruno. You want to move
Put
my
him on-
Bruno?
Put him in centre half then.
Oh
No,
my. You want to move my Bruno, my number 10?
Yeah.
Listen, Jesse Lingard for me.
You're looking for a Bruno
is
type
doing-
player in your number 10.
He's been phenomenal.
You've
Jesse,
got El Mohammadi, but you ain't got a Bruno.
that is true actually. I need a Bruno in my team. So Jesse has been phenomenal. I actually think this move to West Ham reignite that fire in his belly. But I do actually agree with you, and I think he needs to actually go abroad and maybe join Atletico, a Roma, a Inter, because he's been through a lot this year. Remember, you've got that joker of a TikTok.
Paul against Ben
No,
Askren.
not those
Oh,
guys.
that's YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah, there's TikTok joker musician, Jeruso, or whatever his name is, right? Took his girlfriend. Seriously, took his girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Then he lost his mum,
Yeah.
and then I'm sure something else went on in his life as well. On top of that, Ole not playing him. All of these crises. Then he gets a new release going into West Ham. Bit of fresh air. David Moyes knows the kid. You know what I mean? Had words with him previously at the Man United stinky that he had, even though it was a poor run of games. And then now look at him. You could tell that he's got that urge, that fire, that new life that he needed to resurrect his career. So I definitely agree with you and think that on the horizon, maybe going abroad is definitely something on the calling cards for him.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what you think about, foreign players, domestic players like Lingard, like England internationals
Yeah.
going abroad. Do you think it's too soon? Do you think it's
He's also left a
far-fetched?
super agent as well. I think he was with Manulo, the same thing, same agent as Pogba. But I think he left him. He might be under the Jay-Z umbrella now.
Oh, with
I think
Rock Nation.
Rock Nation. I
Nation,
think.
yeah.
Don't quote me on that. I think so. If you know more, you could tell me in the
As I say,
description
just
below.
to opinions, we like to delve into other things. When do you anticipate concerts to be back up and running? We're talking about big events. We're talking about,
Well.
AJ Fury. We're talking about the thriller in Wembley. When do you think concerts? We've got the SSE
Kiss
Arena over
history.
there. We've got the Capital One Summertime Ball venue over here.
I think is it Kiss History or Capital
Capital One Extra
Capital
Summertime
One
Ball.
Extra Summertime Ball. I think those will be back soon. I anticipate most of these events to start take place more July, August time.
Yeah, I think so.
So maybe mid-June.
Well, June
we'll
the
find out a little bit
21st,
more.
put it in your diary, people. June the 21st, all social contact is presumably going to be lifted, so we'll be able to get a little bit closer. We're a little bit close now. I don't mind giving it an old.
WWE coming back. That's the next thing as well. We haven't seen
mate,
WWE
we're gonna have to. I think we're
in
gonna
a while.
have to touch on that one probably in our next. Or we could do maybe a
Nah, because WrestleMania just went.
WrestleMania. Just went.
I will. Did you watch it?
I didn't, so
You
you're gonna have to
didn't.
talk
So,
to me about it.
Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Business. Oh yes,
Her
Hurt Business. And yeah, they they kept to their word and they remain champions. So Bobby Lashley defeated the one and only Drew McIntyre, which was unexpected, to be honest. Drew's been in great form, great shape. So there's looking for a WrestleMania Backlash, which there's a rematch now for that match. So I expect Drew McIntyre to actually defeat Bobby Lashley in that one. It's on the cards. I'm more looking forward to be honest, Roman Reigns versus The Rock, which is the most anticipated fight. Okay, the people's elbow for the people.
How much people would you give me to just elbow Craig right now?
Who would want to see me give Tom the big old
Batista bomb?
I'm actually going to say spear, but yeah, the Batista bomb. So yeah, WWE, everyone's been there. We've all been there as a kid. We've all gone through the glory days.
I remember when I used to have the action figures and playing with the action figures.
You know, the Stone Cold Stunners, the Rock Bottom, the if you smell what the Rock is cooking. We've all been there with the John Cena, you can't see me. We've all been there. We've done it. Yeah, we've seen the Bret Harts. We've seen the Ric Flair. Woo! We've seen it. So we've seen it all. So now it's the new era, the new generation, the 2021 generation. They're talking about people like Finn Balor. If you don't know, get to know. They are talking about Rey Mysterio's son. Oh my day, if you've not seen him, you need to see these guys. Listen, Seth Rollins. We are talking about loads of people now that if you don't know their names, get to know. They are about this business and they keep keeping up a lot of noise. If you don't know, get to know The Miz. A lot of noise is going around right now.
He's been around for a long time though, hasn't he?
Yeah, The Miz has been about for a while. He's always been a joker.
He's been as long around as Vince McMahon, isn't he? Vince McMahon and his daughter. Who's his daughter? Geraldine?
Stephanie.
Geraldine.
Geraldine.
Right, people, we are going to wrap up, and I will leave you with you to wrap up today's show. What we got for next week? I think we're gonna take a little break because we've done 5-6 consecutive podcasts. We're gonna have a little think about. We'll let the fans decide.
Yes.
Do you want us to see exclusive fan camps, exclusive fan talks with outdoor facilities? Do you want us to go to a particular part of the country? I mean, why don't we do the Gillette Soccer Saturday lottery draw where we put in all the teams into a hat, and whichever hat we draw out, we're going to go to that city and we're going to do a bit of pop filming because we're starting in Wembley. We've done it pretty clean today. We've come down to
venues.
Yeah, we'll let venues. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we're out.
We're out. Peace.